Well, good morning. It's Saturday around about 10 o'clock and I'm trying this just to be different. So welcome back to Partickhill station. Of course we're not at the station right now, we're outside going for a walk, and I just thought I'd try something different. Now I'm using a GoPro, which is basically a wide angle camera, so you can see quite a bit of what's going on around me and in the background. It's about 24 degrees, 25 degrees, very pleasant. Now, so you all know the story of me losing those files. Fortunately I actually found them after a while. So that just means I've got two videos of the same topic. But the big thing was, the big talking point was that, you know, it's mismanagement of the files which caused that. I try to follow a particular program in terms of what I do. I'll come up with the idea of the video and I'll gather everything I need and then start filming. Of course, I don't use a script. I try to be basically myself and just ad-lib it as I go. And, you know, generally speaking, it works out quite well. Sometimes I have to take a bit of time in the editing process and go through it and take out the M's and the A's and the O, and all those little annoying words that you want to get rid of before you publish. And, you know, once I'm finished with the recording, I'll go back in and I'll add a thumbnail, and generally what I'll do there is I'll search for or take a photograph of the subject matter for the video and go into Canva and make a simple thumbnail of that. Basically what I'll do is I'll put it on a blue background, which is my brand, as you probably know. If you look around my videos, there's always a blue background and then a photograph on top of it with yellow text. So I'll do that, and I've been experimenting with different thumbnails to try and find one that really suits. And it, you know, the one thing it seems to be very important is that you name your video the same as the title of the YouTube video that you're making. In other words, if you're saying it's steam trains through Partickhill station, then that's what you call the video, and that's what you call the video file, and in the description. So all these things must match to maximize the opportunity for exposure. So once that's all done, and I'm satisfied with the video content and followed all the procedures, and I've got the correct introduction and the ending, and I've attached the appropriate end card, and that's basically, you know, a video reference and a subscribe button, and then basically that's it, we're ready to go. Now once that's all done and you're ready to publish, you know, I've noted that what you got to do is you got to go through it and then make it unlisted so that it gives YouTube an opportunity to have a look at your file. Need to change hands here. Have a look at your file and see where they're going to place your video, so that they know what it's all about and what they should do with it. And then once that's done, you decide when you're going to publish. Now, because I'm in the Toronto area, we are 5 hours behind the UK, I try to make it public at a time when most people would have the time to start looking at YouTube. Now, thing is, there's basically two groups of people, I believe. There are those that are retired, who can watch YouTube anytime, just like I do, and then there are those who work and do most of the stuff in the evening or at the weekends. So I try to find a balance there in when I'm going to publish. Now, what I have done is I've done some instant premieres, and I'm just acknowledging some of the neighbours there. Anyway, so I've done a couple of instant premieres, as you know, and I've maybe not done it correctly, and in that I mean that I haven't posted it with enough lead time. So going back to, you know, the whole process, even with a premiere, you should give YouTube at least 1 day in order to get it up there where it should be, and so that the viewers can say whether or not they want to watch it, and they can plan for that. So that's important. Anyway, so once we've done that, and the next step to do is to manage that file. So what I normally do is I will do the video, and once the video is done, I will copy it. Well, first of all, let's back up a little bit. I'll do the video file on my iPhone, and then I will post that to I will send it to my laptop. So you see what I'm doing here, working on my iPhone for the most part, except right now when I'm using a GoPro. So I work on the iPhone, I do the video, and in iMovie I edit it, and then I send it to my laptop, and in the laptop I go into YouTube Studio, and that's where I would upload. Now it's at this point it gives me a chance to review what I've done before posting it and checking everything along the way. I get all that in place, ready to go, check and double check, because I've made some stupid errors in the past. I get it up there and it's ready to go, and as I said, I would put it on unlisted for YouTube to assess it. Right, so now that's all done, and the file is sitting in YouTube, but the file is also sitting on my laptop, and it's also sitting on my iPhone. So the first thing I do is I go into the iPhone and I send that to my external drive, which is attached to my laptop. In order to do that, I've got to send it to the laptop and then send it from a laptop to the external drive. Or sometimes I can go directly, just depends. But what that does is it ensures that the file is now stored in the external drive in a folder for, let's say, July 2025. At least I know where it is. Then I go into my iPhone and I delete the file of the video. I don't delete all the bits that made up the video, because some of that I can reuse at a later date on another video. So that's the first step. So then what I do is I go into my laptop, make sure that the video has been loaded up. Then what I do is I delete the copy of the video that's on my laptop. Everything's in order. The file itself, the original video file, is now sitting safely in my external drive. And it's just a case of cleanup. Now, over the years, I've got thousands of videos. You know, considering I've been on it, I think 12 years. And in the more recent years, I was doing at least 1 or maybe 2 videos a week. Now, that's quite a lot of work when you consider that, you know, there could be 10, 15 short videos that make up the larger parent video, as I would call it. So you need to manage these, and I didn't always do that, so I've got videos unnamed all over the laptop, and B, in my external drive. So, you know, that managing that in itself is an enormous chore, and this is something for future reference I'm going to try and avoid. So, you know, it'll take time. What I'll need to do is start going in. Now, I'm not sure when that red light went out, the flashing light that tells me that I'm running out of power, but it is recording now, so you might have missed a lot. I'll double back a bit here. Now, I'm not sure when that red light went out, the flashing light that tells me that I'm running out of power. Well, it's about 3:50 in the afternoon and it's still 26 degrees. So there's a couple of things I wanted to address, and one of them was monetization. Now, I'm not monetized, and the interesting thing is that if you look at the subscriptions, I'm up at 1.6k, and you know, I've done just under 700 videos. Now, what I'm missing are the 4,000 watch hours, and that's a real challenge. I'm not quite sure how to overcome that. I'm short by about 700 hours, and the way things are going, it could be another year, maybe longer, before I can add in 700 more hours. Anyway, so that's one thing. If anyone's got any ideas out there how to overcome that, I'd appreciate it if you'd drop me a note. And the other thing is, yeah, so on the monetization, I don't particularly want to be asking people to send me money. I'd prefer to work within the parameters of the partnership plan. That way, anything that's generated on my page is from ads and whatever else it might come along. So I just feel uncomfortable asking for money. So those are two things that I thought was important to share with you. The other thing is the cost of the hobby. It's phenomenally expensive, and you know, I can't see myself paying £200, £300, £400 for a local. It's just not going to happen. My wife would have a fit if she found out that I was paying that kind of money for a model train. She'd rather take that money and use it for a vacation. So that's basically the update from me on those topics. So I think I've sort of covered everything on this one, and you know, if you have any input into any of the topics that we spoke about, then I would ask you to drop me a note and give me a heads up on your opinion of what you think is going on in the hobby, and any comments that I've made. If you've got any input, I'd appreciate if you drop me a note on that. So we'll get back into the rest of the discussion now that I've reset this recording, and we'll go from there. In terms of organisation in the model train room, you know, if I decide, right, I'm making a video as I did about steam and diesel at Partickhill station, then I got to clear everything off. And if I don't put everything back in its spot or in its box, I'm done, because the stuff just piles up. Tools, locos, carriages, magazines, everything all over the place, and that drives me crazy. And now I use, as I said, iMovie to film and also edit. I can get into iMovie and edit the film. I'm sure lots of you do it, but there are other software packages like CapCut, and then I've seen others using Director's Cut, something like that. So there's a variety of softwares that you can use for producing the videos and editing them, and it'd be interesting to hear what the community in general use for that. Some prefer one over the other because ease of use or something about it, you know, maybe the editing or maybe the formatting. There's got to be something. So I won't know until I get home what was missed in the conversation here as we walked around. So we discussed storage of our data and the preservation of the data, and you know, we spoke about equipment, and one thing about equipment that I need to add in, that, you know, I've found a way while I'm doing a how-to to film from overhead, because I've got one of those circular lights and it's got an adapter for the camera, so I use that now, and that's a godsend, because it was tough work trying to get things done clearly, and so that my hands aren't in the way of what I'm trying to do, cut or glue or whatever. So that's a good thing. We also spoke about the files, how to name them, how to name the videos, make it the same as the title, and also include that name into the description, plus your tags, whether you need tags or you don't need tags, how many should you have, end cards, linking in other videos. And the one thing that I find is very important, communication, just like we're doing now, but more and more of you, and I'm really grateful for this, more and more of you are beginning to comment on my videos, my production. I've had the odd negative one. Like, I got a negative comment on the AI produced video. Now let me set that up for you. I was in Partick in Glasgow, and I did quite a bit of filming, and when I get back I thought, let's try something different here. So I went in to the iPhone and I pulled out some files. Then I went into AI and I wrote a script for AI to produce a short video introducing Partickhill station and the subway, which was originally called Merklin Street. And you know, the original Partickhill station was up at the main road, up at Dumbarton Road, and then they moved it, when they started demolishing the area, they moved it a bit south across Dumbarton Road to the other side, and they relocated the subway underground, Merklin Street, and now it's an interchange, so you can, there's a bus station there, the subway's there, and the train, and that's terrific. So what I did was I wrote a script, in other words, prompted it, asking AI to take the data that I'm giving it and then produce a video introducing Partickhill station and Merklin Street subway, and include the videos that I loaded up. And it was only a few minutes and it turned out really well. Of course, it's got a guy with a North American accent talking about it, and so I thought, oh, that's great, you know, people might enjoy this. So I loaded it up. Well, I got the one guy saying, basically, I don't like AI, you lost me on that one, Charlie. And you know, that's okay. I mean, I responded and said, thanks for taking the time. I know it's not for everyone, but you must understand, I, as a producer director, did all the work, took all the videos, all the photographs for the most part, and I did the script for the narration, and then AI just pulled it together and gave their own narration over the top. So left it at that, and that's fine. Now, that's not to say that I'm going to be doing all of my videos using AI. I will not be. that was just an experiment to see what kind of response I would get. And here's another experiment that I've done, and you may or may not have noticed. I've done a number of shorts recently, and I've posted them in the long landscape format, because I get it. A lot of guys go, oh, I'm not interested in watching shorts. I'm not going to turn my TV upside down just to watch your short. So okay, that's great. I get it. So what I've done is I've done a couple of short videos and I've put them up there in a landscape format, in the 16:9 format. And I didn't put it in under shorts. I put it in as a long format video, but only 2 or 3 minutes long, and hoping that would keep everybody happy, because not everyone watches it on their phone. If you watch it on your phone, it's dead easy to scroll through shorts. I do it myself, but I admit I do prefer the long 16:9 format. So that's where we're at with all of that. Now I'm nearing home, so what I'll do is when I get back to the house, I'll pull the microchip out of this and have a look at it, and then see what I missed. And then try and patch in, cover up those topics that might have dropped off. And I'm not sure why that happened, or even if it did, because the problem is when using a GoPro, the only way I know that it's working is that the red light's flashing. That tells me it's recording. Yeah, I was sorry I couldn't get to Crewe. It's just one of these things, that the way vacations worked out and time and all of that. But I'll be over again and be able to hook up. Not exactly sure when that might be, but I know I'll be over there. And I'm looking for a couple old Triang blue-grey Pullman coaches. I don't particularly care if they're scratched or whatever, because in my life nothing was perfect, and it'll give it some character in the more used look. Yeah, this is just an experiment to see who's interested, who's willing to participate in this, get some dialogue going, and an alternative to a live broadcast of an extended video, which not everybody is into or can attend because time differences, etc. Anyway, I'm just going to sign off now because I'm back at the chateau. Well, blah 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 blah. I hope you enjoyed that. I just thought I'd let a few things go out there, and I apologise for dropping off in the process of my walk. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe I pressed the button accidentally, but I got it back in, as you saw. So I just thought I'd let you know my process. You probably have the exact same process, or at least very similar. If you've got something different, something better, I'd like to hear about it. And in general, I'd like to hear from you. because the more I hear from you, the more I'll respond, and the algorithm will kick in hopefully, and I will do the same with you, so we can all grow together. Anyway, thanks very much for bearing with me and not giving up, and remember to give it a big thumbs up, as I say, and we'll see you next time here at Partickhill Station. Bye for now.